No place better symbolizes the Canada-US tug-of-war for auto jobs than the river separating Detroit from Windsor. A tug-of-war that has intensified as President Trump has made clear he wants our auto sector and our auto jobs. Now, of course, Mark Carney promised that he could, quote, handle Trump, that he could, quote, negotiate a win, and that he would have a deal by July 21st. Well, here we are, it's almost November, and there's no deal, no win, no elbows, and increasingly, no jobs. In fact, the Prime Minister promised that he was going to build an all-in-Canada network of automotive production. Since that time, what we've seen is the tragic loss of so many jobs. Just recently, Stellantis announced it was moving operations from a 3,000 worker plant in Brampton. And of course, there's been about 1,000 workers who lost their jobs at the CAMI plant in Ingersoll, and another 700 workers in Oshawa that have lost their jobs. Meanwhile, GM has announced that it's making $4 billion of investment in the US. Stellantis, $13 billion of investment. That's money leaving Canada to go to the United States of America, making them richer and us poorer, all bursting and shattering into smithereens the promises Mark Carney made to those workers that he would protect their jobs. Of course, he made promises that no one could ever keep, and he broke promises that he should have been able to direct. We needed to focus on the things we can control on the Canadian side of the border. For example, the government's plan to ban internal combustion engines, gas and diesel-powered vehicles, is already killing jobs even though it's not yet implemented. Because of course, if you're a business looking at making an investment in a plant, you're not going to do it if that plant is going to be banned or severely penalized by a government mandate 3 or 4 years down the road. In fact, you'd move it to another place, like the US, where there is no such mandate. Conservatives believe that Canadian business and workers decide what cars to make, and Canadian consumers should decide what cars to buy. In other words, get rid of the mandate and put you back in the driver's seat on the vehicles you choose to drive. Secondly, I don't know what's worse, Trump's tariffs or Carney's taxes. He's got an industrial carbon tax that applies to almost everything that goes into making an automobile. The plastics, the rubber, the steel, and the other metals that could potentially be produced or altered or changed are all more expensive because of an industrial carbon tax that does not exist on the American side of the border, but does on our side. This drives production and paychecks out of our country.